Hey, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of our Road to Glory career mode. This is episode number 15, and I'm so excited for today's episode because, of course, we are starting a brand new season with St. Pauli, and for the first ever time, we are in the Bundesliga after winning the title in the last episode. So I am super excited for a new season to begin, and I want to say straight away, if you want to see the second episode of the new season featuring our first ever Bundesliga game, then get this video to 1,500 likes and I'll upload the next episode later on tonight after the football. So there is your challenge, 1,500 likes, and I'll do a double episode upload day of the Road to Glory career mode featuring our first ever Bundesliga game. And our opponents, well, you'll be surprised to see who we're taking on first, but it'll be a very, very big game, let's just say that. But still, as you can see, we start a new season here with St. Pauli at the Millantor Stadion, and we find out that we've had a loan expiry. Of course, that was Kai Havertz, who's going back to Bayer Leverkusen, and also, of course, 4 new players joining us on free contracts: Charities, Casillas, David Villa, and also Pedro Enrique, the centre-back as well. Those are our objectives. As you could see, we need to avoid relegation in the Bundesliga and reach the round of 32 stage in the Deutsche Pokal. And here are the new players in our first ever squad report in Season 2. Iker Casillas has joined us, 36 years old, still 80 overall though. Would he take Justin Bailo's place, goalkeeper of the tournament last year with a golden glove? Well, probably. You'd probably say so. Pedro Enrique with 94 strength. Super excited to use him as part of our back three. He should be a really, really good acquisition for us, and hopefully will help us stop leaking goals in the Bundesliga. And also the other 2 new signings you'll see in just a moment's time: Chichariti, the cam, the Italian, who could also play on the wing as well, who I probably will end up playing on the wing with that pace. 85 acceleration, 88 sprint speed as well, high dribbling too, despite being a pretty young player. And also David Villa, of course, has joined as well. He's a 79 overall player now, 35 years old, but still has 84 for finishing. So I'm super excited to see him here. And as you can see, this is the 3-4-3 we'll probably play this season, just like last year, with Chichariti on the right wing and David Villa playing on the left wing. Pedro Enrique will be part of our back three as well. Iker Casillas will take Justin Bailo's place in goal. So all 4 new signings will have a place in my first 11, or so I think right now. You guys can let me know in the comment section down below how you would line the team up, I should say. But for me, I kind of want to play that way, and you might wonder why I'd have David Villa on the left-hand side and not playing as a striker. Well, after Buhaduz won the Golden Boot last year with 22 goals in the Zweite Bundesliga, he was fantastic. I've got no plans to drop him to the bench. Why would I, right, after such a great debut season? But of course, David Villa, I feel like a 79 overall. He needs to be in the first 11. I don't want to change to 3-4-3. We had so much success playing that last year. And with Chichariti being a left-footed player playing on the right side, David Villa playing a right-footed player being on the left side, it means that as opposed to crossing the ball in, we'll try and cut inside and shoot a little bit more with our wingers. At least that's what I'm thinking anyway. You guys can let me know in the comments how you would line the team up, but for me, I think that's the best strategy, really. And even though David Villa will retire come the end of the year, if he can score, double figures this season for us in the Bundesliga, I'll definitely take that for a player playing in the left wing role. But let me know in the comments regardless how you would line this team up. But for me, I think we should go with that 3-4-3 with Villa on the left and Chichariti on the right. Regardless, we also have quite a few players with their deals up come the year, as we have bids here for Buhaduz and Justin Bailo. Not a real surprise. They both won a golden something last year, a glove for Bailo, a boot for Buhaduz, but both of those players are staying here. They're going absolutely nowhere, so we reject those bids there, and those players will be staying here at the Millantor Stadion. And also, contracts are expiring, quite a few of them, as you saw there. I gave new deals to Sobiech, our captain, and also Sobota as well, our Polish winger. Now, Sobota is declining in stats, but last season played really, really well. He was our joint second highest goal scorer with 7 goals. He had a few assists too, and he's just one of those players that I sort of trust, if you know what I mean, in the team. I always feel like he's going to put in a good shift in, regardless of what his current stats are and whether he's declining or not. So I know he's 30 years old, but I want to give him at least 1 year on his deal. So that'll be 2 years in total left on his contract, and we can let him go next season or at the end of next season as well. We just want a 1-year extension for Sobota, and we should wait and see what he says. Still, we also got ourselves into a European International Cup, which is our pre-season tournament, and as you can see, we beat QPR in the first game by 2 2-1 as Miyechi declined his contract here. And I also showed you a backup team sheet as well. Now, just briefly on this, some of you guys last season during the episode said, why don't you have more than one team sheet? Why don't you have a backup team sheet? I guess the reason why you're asking that is because I've never really showed it, but I do. If you notice, sometimes you'll see before I go into a game, there are two sort of like dots which suggest I have one team sheet and another one as well, but I normally just pick the default one. But I do have a backup team sheet as well. It's just that I don't typically show it, but yeah, I just wanted to show you it there just as proof that I do have a backup team sheet which helps me organize the team when I'm not using my normal first 11. But anyway, Sabota did accept his contract, as did Ryo Miyechi, so new deals there for our wingers, and also gave another new contract here to Jeremy Dudziak. I really wasn't sure what players should stay here with just 1 year left in their deal. Quite a few players that have their contracts that come the end of the year, some of which aren't going to be first 11 players this season, like Miyechi for example, probably going to drop to the bench. Dudziak is a bench player, but I feel it's best to give those sort of players, the players I got experience with, the players that played quite a few games last season and didn't do too badly, new contracts, even if they're not part of the really long-term future here with St. Pauli, because letting them go for free, I mean, we could do that, or we could try and cash in on them in a year or two's time and get a bit of money for them. And for me, I always go with the latter because selling players on career mode is not that difficult. But anyway, we did make it through our pre-season tournament group. We lost to Empoli, but we beat both Queen's Park Rangers and Huddersfield to book a place against La Spezia in the semi-finals as Jeremy accepted his contract there. So 3 Italian teams in the pre-season tournament knockout stages and a German side as well. It's the Germans versus the Italians, and we'd have to see whether we go all the way and win the pre-season tournament. And as you can see, we did take on La Spezia in the semi-finals, and we also won this tie as well. So through to the pre-season tournament final for the 2nd straight year, and it was Sabota, the guy I gave a new contract to, who got our first goal, as well as the engine, as we will book our place against Empoli, who were the only team so far in the pre-season tournament to beat us in the group stage. So a little bit extra scratch, I'll always take that. Absolutely delighted with that, and another place in the pre-season tournament final as we try and go back to back.
This game really is a chance for him to express himself. He's got the most assists in the league, with 2 so far. He's played really well.
Now, as I always say, pre-season tournaments for me aren't really something I care about that much. I normally just simulate all the games unless we get to the final. And if none of my players get injured, I call it a successful pre-season. You know, for me, making sure none of my players get injured is the most important thing. However, the possibility of more prize money is always appealing, let's be honest here. And starting off with a trophy, starting a new season with some silverware, is always a pretty nice feeling too. So we took on Empoli. I did decide to play it just like last year's final, as we tried to go back-to-back in the pre-season tournaments. And I was also excited to see how Iker Casillas and David Villa, the Spanish veterans, would get on in my first played game with them. 26 minutes in, Casillas made a really impressive save there with his left boot, getting that shot behind for a corner, so it was still 0-0. But Empoli, who were so far the only team to beat us in this tournament, did start off the better team here, playing at the San Siro, and won themselves a penalty in the 30th minute. However, I must say, this was a terrible decision, at least in my eyes. The referee called it after Sobiech had his arm, I should say, had his hand on number 16's back, but there was no shove or anything. He just fell to the floor. In my eyes, that was never a penalty. However, I wasn't going to complain because, of course, last season we had a couple of lucky penalty decisions. I guess that's just karma, and as you'll see, the number 10, El Kaddouri, stood up to take it and would smash the ball into the top corner, sent Iker Casillas the wrong way, and the Italians had the lead here in Milan as they went a goal up. Yes, the penalty, in my opinion, was very, very soft, but again, last season we had a couple of lucky decisions ourselves, so I guess it just balances itself out. So Omar El Kaddouri made it 1-0. Empoli were leading at the break in the first half, where they had of course played much better than us and dominated possession as well with 90% pass accuracy. So we needed to respond here in the second half, and just before the hour mark had a great chance to do that. Mane won the ball back and found Charities down the right, a lovely Berber spin and a great cross to the centre, and there's a reason why this guy is not losing his place as our main striker in this St. Pauli team. Aziz Bouhadou's got us back on level terms with an absolutely extraordinary goal, probably the goal of the series so far, and a new signing getting the assist was great to see. But what a goal from our 30-year-old Moroccan, and I've never really said this on air before in a commentary, but he reminds me of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He's not exactly as tall as the Swede at 6'5", he's 6'1" though, but he is strong, he is imposing, he's good in the air, but he's also better with his feet. He's got that special something, and what an extraordinary goal. Zlatan would have been proud of that one. A fantastic acrobatic effort, and Aziz Buhaduz put us back on level terms to make it St. Pauli 1, Empoli 1. The Italians, though, could have restored their lead just before the end of the game, though. This shot by Bukel, with 2 minutes to go, hit the crossbar from a free kick and went over the bar. And in the final seconds here, just before the full-time whistle, a couple of great chances here for Pucciarelli, but Casillas made a brilliant save, and then he spurned the rebound, firing it wide the post and behind for a goal kick. So that was how the game would finish in the end. St. Pauli 1, Empoli 1. The Italians probably deserved to win this game in the 90 minutes, but they didn't take their chances, and because of that, we had a chance to punish them as we would take part in our first ever penalty shootout. So I was super excited for this, our first shootout with St. Pauli. How would we get on? Well, David Villa would take our first penalty, the new Spanish striker playing left wing for us, and what a great strike to get us off the mark into the top corner as he made it 1-0. Empoli tried to respond from the second penalty, and their first one taken by the number 25, but Casillas, who made a couple of big saves in normal time, started off strong in the shootout, making the save like he couldn't do in the first half against El Kaddouri, kept it at 1-0, and then Buhaduz, who scored in normal time like El Kaddouri, made it 2-0. So a 2-goal advantage already for St. Pauli, but Casillas was not done yet, because he then put off the number 11, who smacked a shot onto the post as it was still 2-0. Sobiech, our captain, had smashed the ball in off the underside of the bar, said that's how you hit the woodwork and score. What a fantastic penalty, and that meant the number 77 for Empoli, Bukel, who hit the bar in normal time from the free kick and almost won the game for Empoli, had to score this game, otherwise we would be the shootout winners, and Iker Casillas pulled off a fantastic save as we won the penalty shootout 3-0. Now, how crazy is that? I'm not the best at penalties in this game, either scoring or in particular saving them. In my club and country save, as recent as just a couple of weeks ago, we lost to Germany on the shootout and I totally choked. But in this shootout, Iker Casillas was fantastic, saved 2 penalties, went the right way for the one that hit the post as well. And I tell you, the 36-year-old coming in may not be our number 1 for too many years, but there's still life in those old bones yet. A fantastic shootout performance and a great game as well, and he may not have saved the penalty in normal time, but he saved it for when it mattered most. So we win the pre-season tournament then. We won the European International Cup in Season 1. We win it in Season 2 as well. Sobiech, our captain, would lift his 3rd piece of silverware. Yes, of course, 2 are non-competitive trophies, but either way, we start the season off strong, and last year, after winning the pre-season tournament, we ended up winning the title as well. Can we win the Bundesliga title in our first year in the top flight? Well, you know, probably not, but at least it's a trophy regardless, and we get the maximum amount of prize money possible, which is fantastic, and we start the season off the right way. And again, I wasn't really sure what to do with our new signings this season, how many of which would go in the first 11, how many wouldn't. I was thinking, you know, can David Villa outmuscle Buhaduz? Well, it turns out he'll probably stay as our striker, but David Villa can play on the left-hand side. Charities playing right wing, got the assist for Buhaduz's goal. Pedro Enrique didn't really do much of note, I'll be honest here, the new centre-back, because Casillas was, of course, the hero in the shootout. So all 3 of our new signings starting off quite well. David Villa, of course, had the most assists in the tournament with 2. Didn't get any in this game, but in the end, that was still pretty interesting, I suppose, maybe to someone somewhere. But, you know, our new signings starting off the pre-season tournament quite well is what I mean to say. And of course, for us to win it too, that's absolutely fantastic. So we win the pre-season tournament. Our market valuation continues to rise as well. It's all smiles right now in the Millantor Stadion. However, Philip Billing did get an injury in that game as well. Sadly, I couldn't locate on the pitch where it happened, but he did stay on the pitch, but I subbed him off after a while, and he sprained his ankle and is going to be out for 4 weeks, but that's okay. He should make it back for the first game of the Bundesliga season. So in the end, we have about £9 million now in our budget to spend on new players, as it rose from the original around £5.5 million at the start of the season. And of course, in the last episode, I did ask you guys what player we should sign for next season, our first new signing. Thank you to just over 3,000 of you for getting involved in the voting, and I'm very surprised that it was such a one-sided vote. 49% of you decided we should sign Justin Kluivert, and he should become our first new signing in the Bundesliga with St. Pauli, son of the Dutch legend Patrick Kluivert. And it's also doubly interesting because Justin Kluivert plays for Ajax. Now, last season, you guys chose Matthias de Ligt, who also played for Ajax. So we've signed 2 Ajax Ajax players to begin with. You guys have chose 2 Ajax players to begin with. I'm not sure, you know, what players will be in the shortlist for Season 3 for you guys to make the first signing for Season 3, but if I use an Ajax player, I'm sure we'll sign that guy as well, because you guys seem to love Ajax right now. So, Justin Kluivert, we put in a valuation bid of £3.8 million, as Johannes Flume here is off to France, as Troy's put in a £1.2 million bid for our 29-year-old, and I said that was totally fine, as his deal's up come the end of the year. As you'll see, Ajax accepted our valuation bid. That's why you've always got to put in valuation bids, because you just never know. Of £3.8 million, we give him a contract, £10,800 a week on a 5-year deal, important first-team player status, and as you'll see, Patrick's son says that's totally fine. He is going to join De Ligt here as another former Ajax player. We'll sign for St. Pauli. We now got 3 decent young Dutch talents in our team in Justin Bijlo, Justin Kluivert, and Matthias De Ligt as well. And in comes Justin, 73 overall, 18 years old, right winger, can also play left wing, 4-star skills, and a 4-star weak foot. Thank you so much to everyone that voted in that poll and decided Justin Kluivert. I was quite surprised too. I thought the guy that finished second, Victor Andrade, was going to win. But yeah, Kluivert is in. His valuation's dropped a little bit sadly, but he's got some fantastic stats. 86 acceleration, 85 agility, 81 sprint speed, 83 balance, 85 dribbling already at just 18 years old. I think you guys have made a fantastic choice there in the signing. And again, thank you to everyone that got involved in the voting. I appreciate it very, very much. And right now, you guys seem to love those Dutch young talents. But that will end today's episode of the Road to Glory career mode, guys. So a big thank you for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you did enjoy the first episode of Season 2, then please do leave a like. Don't forget 1,500 likes for the second episode, including our first Bundesliga game to come out later on tonight. Much love to you all. Enjoy your Sunday. And I'll see you for the next episode of our Road to Glory career mode, hopefully later tonight.